From arguably one of the most important personalities in the galaxy weirdly going missing during a key spell in the Skywalker saga, to the fact that many people within this sprawling galaxy appear to have particularly short memories. These are those Star Wars moments and scenarios that fans are still struggling to understand after all this time. Gareth here from What Culture Star Wars, and here are 10 things that still don't make sense in Star Wars. Number 10. What in the hell was Ahsoka Tano up to during the original trilogy? Getting the ball rolling with a puzzling reality that simply could not be avoided due to the character only being introduced to the Skywalker saga decades after the original trilogy first blast off into theaters, the whereabouts of one Ahsoka Tano throughout said galactic civil war has been a question buried within the minds of many for some time, since it became clear that the former Jedi wasn't actually killed off by her former master whilst dueling within the Sith Temple on Malachor in Rebels, instead being saved from that fate by Ezra Bridger's World Between Worlds intervention. Many wondered why Tano would have simply sat by and watched the galaxy rip itself apart throughout episodes 4 to 6. It has been suggested that Tano was actually residing on Malachor during the Galactic Civil War, embarking on a spiritual journey of sorts as she figured out a way to find a missing Ezra. But it's safe to say many will be looking for some concrete answers within the upcoming Ahsoka series as to what she was actually up to in the time before joining forces with Sabine Wren to search for the Ghost crew member. Number 9. Nobody has a clue who Luke Skywalker is. The folks within this galaxy far, far away aren't exactly boasting the strongest memories, it must be said. Now sure, to assume that just about every single soul living and breathing throughout the aforementioned Galactic Civil War would have laid eyes on or even just heard of the iconic Jedi who helped topple the Empire would be a bit foolish. The galaxy is a pretty huge place after all. But the fact that folks as close to the fight as the likes of Cara Dune didn't even seem to be aware of who in the hell the New Republic hero Luke Skywalker was upon him meeting the Mando gang in Season 2 makes for a rather baffling situation. Even if Dune hadn't crossed paths with the iconic Jedi before, there is a strong chance his face, or at the very least his physical description, would have been floated around by the folks he was once fighting with just a few short years before. And the fact Luke is praised as some sort of Jedi celebrity by the time of The Force Awakens only makes the team's uncertainty over who in the hell he was at this point even more bizarre. Number 8. How did Leia end up with a new dress on Endor? Princess Leia Organa finds herself eventually sporting an earthy-looking dress in the wake of being taken in by Wicket's W. Warwick and co. in Return of the Jedi. And while many found themselves questioning how the leading light managed to come into possession of said clothing after rocking up to the Forest Moon in camo gear, that part of the mystery was actually solved thanks to Star Wars Force of Destiny's Ewok Escape, an episode that explained that the dress was a gift for Leia's assistance in saving some Ewoks from a bunch of stormtroopers. The part that still hasn't been fully detailed, however, is how in the heck the fuzzy little rascals came into having possession of said dress in the first place. There is one disturbing fan theory that suggests the Ewoks, as seen in their initial hostility towards Luke and Han, could have actually just eaten another woman and taken her dress as a horrific prize. But it's still not been 100% confirmed in canon if this was how said clothing was freakishly obtained. Let's hope not, eh? Number 7. How did Jar Jar Binks become a senator? After spending pretty much the entirety of his screen time bumbling through The Phantom Menace, it's safe to say that seeing Jar Jar Binks don a set of robes and strut into the Galactic Senate caught just about everybody off guard in Attack of the Clones. Admittedly, rewarding the slapstick fool with a cushy Gungan role for his less than competent displays during the battle against the Trade Federation's droid army on Naboo made a bit of sense, but having him act as the Gungan's ambassador to Theed, before eventually stepping into the high-pressure position of Naboo's associate planetary representative whenever Padme Amidala wasn't available, was a pretty difficult pill to swallow for those who had last seen Jar Jar make a meal out of, well, something as simple as a meal in Episode 1. Sure enough, it didn't take all that much effort to manipulate the eternally clumsy and dangerously innocent politician into suggesting the Senate give emergency powers to Chancellor Palpatine in order to forge a Grand Army of the Republic in Attack of the Clones, begging the question why so many ignorantly allowed the likes of Palpatine to humor him into this highly influential spot in the first place. Number 6. How could the Jedi be forgotten about so damn quickly? The fact that figures such as Han Solo referred to the Jedi way as little more than a hokey religion during his early appearances in A New Hope just doesn't seem to add up upon assessing the timeline. Some 20 years on from Order 66 all but obliterating the Jedi from existence, the fact many were so quick to forget about this particular aspect of the massive war between a Jedi-boasting Republic and the Separatists that ultimately birthed the Galactic Empire never really made sense. with the eventual likes of the Rebels and Obi-Wan Kenobi series both suggesting that many a Jedi did still find a way to pop up and cause a fuss on occasion over the years. Sure, the Emperor definitely went out of his way to bury and destroy any remnants of the religion, which does partially explain why some corners of the galaxy either opted to ignore the Jedi or simply had their brains washed into thinking they were little more than a myth. But when folks like Han Solo specifically, who was revealed to have actually been a member of the Imperial Navy earlier in his life, and must have surely come across the odd Jedi straggler, act as if the existence of the one-time Force-wielding heroes is laughable, this particular opinion/reaction feels increasingly odd. Number 5. Why didn't General Grievous just blast Kenobi to smithereens? Many, quite rightly, were all too happy to discard all logic when it came to one particularly strange tactical choice from one of the galaxy's most cunning generals during Revenge of the Sith. That's because had General Grievous done the intelligent thing during his showdown with Obi-Wan Kenobi on Utapau, there's a solid chance fans would have been gifted with a bit of an anticlimactic response to Ewan McGregor's immortal utterance of "hello there." In reality though, what was stopping Grievous from simply lowering one of his bionic arms and commanding the room full of droids to open fire on the stubborn Jedi Master? His own ego? Yeah, perhaps. But a strategic bastard like this cyborg likely should have realized that his odds of claiming another lightsaber for his collection would have been greater had he opted to instead allow his army to do his dirty work for him. Maybe Grievous simply felt his robot allies, no matter their superior numbers, weren't capable of besting a Jedi of Kenobi's talents. But it does feel like the general missed a bit of a trick in not at least testing Obi-Wan's deflecting capabilities against a few hundred blasters. Number 4. Why did nobody use Force speed more often? While there are a ton of Force abilities out there in the Legends and canon universe that weren't actually fully explored within the live-action Skywalker saga on the big screen, one undoubtedly useful and rare talent was actually given a run out during the Phantom Menace's opening stages, only to pretty much completely disappear from there on out. I'm talking about that moment Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn utilized good old Force speed to get out of droidica dodge on a Trade Federation ship. But far from opening the door for the Jedi to flaunt this massively useful talent from there on out in the prequels in particular, the ability seems to go oddly missing shortly after. Mace Windu would tease the use of Force speed a touch during the animated Clone Wars series Battle of Dantooine, and once again boast a slight increase in speed during his duel with Palpatine, with the odd other Jedi being able to dodge particularly rapidly within the animated sphere too. But outside of these few quick beats, was the power kept mostly secret from those learning to wield the power of the Force on the big screen? You know, it may have just come in handy when trying to evade mind-controlled clone troopers, just a thought. Number 3. How Obi-Wan Kenobi aged so damn quickly. One of the key happenings fans were hoping to see addressed over the course of Disney Plus's recent Obi-Wan Kenobi series came in the form of what in the holy hell happened to the titular Jedi Master to make him go from luscious brunette lock-boasting space stud to white-haired wizard in just under 2 decades. Instead of shedding some light on how the Jedi, who appeared to be in his mid-30s during Revenge of the Sith, ended up resembling a dude edging towards his late 60s in A New Hope, the series reached its conclusion, for now at least, with Kenobi still boasting a mane without even a flicker of grey. Some have been quick to suggest that Ben's swift aging may come about due to the character eventually being on the receiving end of a life-draining Force power, similarly to how Palpatine wound up resembling a battered vegetable after having his own Force lightning deflected onto him in Revenge of the Sith. Until said grey hair creating trauma makes itself known, however, this rapid aging will continue to be filed in the strange Star Wars mystery category. Number 2. Anakin returning as Hayden Christensen via Force Ghost. In another case of George Lucas attempting to sell fans on an odd scenario that just about nobody honestly bought, or has any intention of buying some years later, the reveal of Hayden Christensen's version of Anakin Skywalker/Darth Vader being swapped into the again tinkered with original trilogy in the 2004 DVD re-release of Return of the Jedi inspired an understandable amount of confusion. Far from quickly offering a wise and logical response though, Lucas claimed in the film's DVD commentary that the idea was that your inner person would go back to where we left it off when it turned to the dark side. But this retcon pretty much negates the powerful beat that had seen Vader redeem himself and seemingly wander back towards the light side of the Force in the moments before Sebastian Shaw's version of the character's demise in his son's arms. In truth, Christensen being thrown into the original trilogy mix was likely little more than a way of connecting the OG flicks and the prequels, whether it made any actual sense or not. Number 1. How did Anakin not clock his wife was pregnant with twins? While at a glance expecting someone to be aware of the fact their partner is carrying not only one one but two babies within them, when the mother herself seemingly isn't even privy to the knowledge of housing a set of twins, may seem a bit odd. Anakin Skywalker wasn't any old average Joe, was he? After all, it's demonstrated time and time again that Force users possess the ability to sense the lives of others from halfway across the galaxy, seen in Palpatine sensing his new apprentice is in danger from Coruscant when Lord Vader is battling with his one-time master on Mustafar. So would it have been too much of a stretch for Anakin to clock the fact that his beloved Padme was actually set to give birth to a couple of little Skywalkers when she was literally stood right in front of him? Vader even went on record to admit that he could feel that Amidala was alive before her untimely end. So why couldn't he feel the two lifeforms within her too? And the fact Yoda and Obi-Wan were also unable to sense there were two babies on board until being told moments before their birth seems to suggest this lot weren't as connected to the living Force as they thought. And that's our list. Know of any other things that still don't make sense in Star Wars? Let us know all about them in the comment section right down below, and do not forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button while you're at it. Also, if you do like this kind of thing, then go on over to whatculture.com and find some more incredible lists just like the one this video you're watching right now is based on. I would know because I wrote it. I've been Gareth from What Culture Star Wars. Thank you as always for clicking on this fantastic video today. Hopefully I'll see your faces very, very soon, but in the meantime, may the Force be with you, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye!